Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, fellas. Oh, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. Oh, Pops is fighting the big cold, you guys. Excuse me. Thank goodness none of you are here, nerdy. Much as I miss you, I don't want you here until this stuff clears up. Juan. Good morning, Potato Ducky and Juan. Jimmy Max is maximum early. Thank you, Pacers. Hey, Pace, I got a box in the mail. I haven't opened it yet because it's on the simmer pile, but I'll open it today, bro. And I'm thanking you in advance. Thank you. Big old box. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Potato Ducky, I feel like you're a kind of a quack. No, I'm kidding. Oh, good morning, Mark Z. Marky Z. Marky Z, good morning. Thank you, Pacers. And Queenie and Danny Singleton. What? No one knew Danny was going to be here this early. What the heck? Truffles versus regular mushrooms? That's a good question, Juan. Are you talking about edible truffle mushrooms? They differ by the taste and by their cost. They're a lot harder to grow, truffles. So they're super expensive. Do I think they're wonderful? Nah. I'm not a big mushroom edible guy. Yeah, it's a good question. Good morning, everybody. Anybody want to help out answering questions here? They can. Good morning. Nerdy sees Danny. Nerdy sees Danny. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What do we have this morning? Oh, I know. We're going to do a scale game later. Okay? There you go, Herbs. 1A and Herbs are talking. J.W. Owen. Okay, let's he's only here a couple minutes. Let's take care of this. J.W. Owen, I've been waiting to see my friend J.W. J.W. Owen. First of all, there's going to be a scale game later. We're going to take these fellas, and you're going to figure out how much the total package weighs, and then we're going to split it in half for two people, and we're going to have another one. Okay, J.W. Owen. J.W. Owen, if you can make it back for later today, see if you can make it back and hit us up on that. J.W. Owen, good morning. I'm glad he's only here for a moment. He wrote us a note the other day, and I've been waiting till I could see him here, and I want to read it. It's kind of funny because he acts like we allow. This opening line, I didn't know we allow. I thought everybody was just welcome. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your morning tea. By the way, this letter is to everybody. It's not just to Pop. So would you guys please pay attention? Trent, this is to you. Laura, I know you're divine, but I need you to pay attention. Somebody wrote you a letter. Vague. Vaguey. It's for you. Okay? Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your morning tea. Your morning tea. Within the last few months, I have implemented the 4 agreements within my life, and it's had a positive impact within it. Speaking of, okay, I can now consider myself a grower of the fruit that we speak of daily. And I've included the first 2 to have broken their veil overnight. He sent me a picture of these 2 fruit, his first 2 fruit ever. Wait a minute. I'm so proud of that. His first 2 fruit. Did we save a picture? I thought we saved the picture. I'll get the picture and show you in a little bit. I can now consider myself a grower of the fruit. Boop. That's a pretty big deal, and I'm not joking when I say that. You know how good you feel when you've really accomplished that your first time around? If you remember, JWO a couple of weeks ago was telling us, hey, you guys are right. When I cracked open that grain spawn, it sure did smell wonderful. He knows. Um, he says, my fruits were only 8.1 grams together, but they're mine. I'm actually really happy for that. And I have you to thank for that. Again, this experience has made a positive impact on myself. Wait for it. Wait for it, nerdy. On myself and my relationship with my wife. Told you guys. Told you. Thanks to you and everyone in your tea crew. If you feel inclined to pass this along to them, I would be grateful. Have a great day, sir. You too, J.W. Owen. I'm glad you popped in here this morning. I would have been holding that reading ready for you. Okay? My favorite part is the relationship with the wife. That's the real fruit. Not that 8.1 grams. I mean, that's good stuff, but it's that other stuff. Have a good day, JW. I have one more letter to read. Do you guys remember? It was the day before yesterday. Pops was too sick to show up yesterday. I was too sick. I couldn't get out of bed. I'm having a really tough time with this darn cold, as you can tell. And thank goodness for Brock Handle and everything. Heard you guys had fun yesterday. Heard the bad news about Niffer's family pet. I feel terrible about that. I truly do. And I also found out I missed Penny's birthday. So we went ahead and get out of here, Jesus Christ. We went ahead and sent Penny a little something something for her birthday. And I'm sorry that we missed it yesterday. Excuse me. Day before yesterday, we were giving away some stuff, right? Yeah, it's very sad. I can't even imagine my life will be like when Ruffy goes. Because there's not another dog on the planet that could ever replace his kindness and his sweetness, his intelligence. Our pets are so special to us. We have different relationships with them than we even have with our own adult and children. Because you expect stuff from them. Our relationships with our pets are so pure. Vegas, tomorrow, your birthday? Tomorrow? Oh boy, I better sing by the end of today then. And I'll shoot you off a little something, something. Excuse me. Okay, Pops. Okay, gosh, I feel bad for putting you guys through this. Happy birthday to Vegas, you guys. What a sweet space we have here. 55, Vegas, you can't possibly. Oh, Vegas, that means you're going to be a senior citizen. You're going to get like an AARP card? Senior citizen. Whoa! You're going to get 10% off at Tim Hortons for a breakfast sandwich. That's a pretty good deal right there. Tim Hortons, who thought of that? Okay, welcome to the club. Cleanie. Goodwill discount. Dude, do they get a Goodwill discount, Derek? I didn't know that. You bring an AARP card? Happy birthday. Oh my goodness, that's great. Do you guys remember a couple of days ago, Corey D won on the scale game, and he said, give it away to, right at the end of the program, he said, give it away to Sue Littlemeyer. Do you guys remember that? Sue Littlemeyer, Potato Ducky is new. Sue Littlemeyer. And there's Corey D right there. Good morning, Corey. That was awfully generous of you, Corey. Sue Littlemeyer wrote you a letter. You want me to read it? Is Sue here? Is Sue here? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Calling Sue Littlemeyer. Sue Littlemeyer. There's a message at the desk. Is Sue here? She wrote Corey a letter. Fun with facts is new too. Joe D's, she's here? Okay. Sue Littlemeyer. Here you go. Sue, remember that Corey gave her his giveaway. Okay. I really want Corey to know how much I appreciate their kindness and this gift. I've been on a spiritual journey for a long... Good morning, Sue. I've been on a spiritual journey for a long time. And I want to learn, and I want to grow so much more. I feel like I'm finally beginning to find my soul tribe. What a cool term. Who came up with that one, Sue? Soul tribe. And I'm finally moving into my time. I really connect with tea time with Pops, and I desperately need and want fellowship. I don't text very well or easily, though. I think you do, Sue. I submit that you do and that you're wrong. I submit I'm right, okay? I have high hopes for meeting all of you someday. I really need fellowship with like minds. Sue, we all do, and thank you for admitting it out loud. Once again, thank Corey for me, please, and Pops. Thank you for having an online presence and showing up. You are needed, wanted, and I appreciate you all. Peace, love, truth, and light. Suzanne. Sue? Soul Tribe? Sue's in the Soul Tribe. Thank you for that wonderful note. And even more, thank you, Corey, for rippling goodness and kindness. I appreciate everybody. This little Niffy wrote to me. Niffy wrote to something. Wait a second, I gotta grab it so I don't misquote her. Niffy was worried about me yesterday and she was checking up on me. A lot of you did, and thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Checking in on what's up with old Pops. But then Niffy said this, and all of a sudden, 3 of my sniffles went away. 3 of my sniffles left town, okay? When she wrote, she had told me about her pet. And, I just basically commiserate and said, if there's anything that I can do, would you please let me know? Just let me know. I'm out here. She writes back. I would expect her to say, well, Pops, would you pay for the funeral? Pops, we're going to get another one. It's only cost us $2,000 for a purebred. Can we get 50% donation in on that? I mean, I was down. I was like, if there's any way I can help. I'm expecting her to come at me, All right, well, now that you have volunteered, the new one, I shouldn't be joking about a new one yet, but you'll get another little baby to love. And the first thing I thought of was poor Ava. I remember as a child losing pets. Okay. Kimberly says, ask for Ruff. All right, here you go. Yeah, no. Okay. Right, Niffy, when you're ready. But she writes to me because I asked her, what can I do to help? Remember, I'm laying in bed with 77 sniffles. Okay. Right, Penny? That's who I immediately thought of. I don't care about Cleanie. Cleanie's going to get over it. No, I care about Cleanie too. I said, let me know if I can help. And anyway, she writes back, just keep doing what you're doing. You've created a space, you've created a safe space that's unlike anything I've ever seen. And you're cultivating a little corner of kindness in this cruel world. It helps more than you could ever know. I'm not creating it. We are creating it. I'm just one. There's 68 other people here. And there's 1,000 every day. Okay? So, thank you very, very much. We're doing an amazing thing. We're doing an amazing thing. We have a spot that we can go to and hang out and have pals and tell each other the truth. Okay? Good morning, everybody. Midlife, it only keeps getting stronger if we keep building. Because it could get weak if we go stagnant and let the pond sit still. We don't want that. So we're going to keep the water flowing. Water keeps flowing through our pond. We'll always be healthy. I know what I wanted to do this morning, but I'm going to do this first. I'm going to give you a couple of mythobustos. Good morning, Wazzy. Good morning. What beautiful letters we got today. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to bust about 4 myths. Vanish. My name's Pops. My name is Pops. You just try to, that's all anybody's got to call me is Pops. Pop. I'm going to I'm going to bust a couple of myths. We usually tell you facts. Today we're going to tell you anti-facts. We're going to do that for about 10 minutes, okay? Different countries see different phases of the moon on the same day. Is that true? No. Everyone sees the same phases of the moon. However, people that live south of the equator and face north to see the moon will see it upside down so that the reverse side of it is lit up. That explains so much to me about this guy that our friend in Australia here, the Human Resources Director. That explains a great deal to me. If you think about it, we're all seeing it this way. Our friend, our funny friend, funny I tell you, our funny friend is seeing things upside down and backwards and inside out. What? And when he flushes his toilet, he watches it go the other way. Yeah, there's a reason. We often have to wonder why. The moon goes around the earth. How long does it take for the moon to go around the earth? 1 day, right? In 1 day, it explains so much. I never even thought of it. But okay, here we go. Upside down and inside out, Corey. The moon goes around the earth in 1 day, correct? Right? In 1 day, goes around. Corey D, step to the front of the class. It takes the moon about a month to orbit the earth. It's orbiting us while we're orbiting. Okay, the moon takes a month to orbit the earth. Okay, let's learn a couple more things about the moon. Who knows? The moon is a weirdo, right? Isn't the moon weird? The moon makes its own light. I know, Corey's like going to be our astronomer, house astronomer. The moon makes its own light just like the sun does. No, that's not true. The moon reflects the sun. That's all it's doing. It's a reflector, okay? It's not generating its own light. just like other planets. We're just reflectors, okay? Don't go thinking that it's got some kind of a torch or something in there. The moon doesn't rotate, though. That's the one thing. Our Earth's sitting here, and the moon, as it rotates around us, it's static. The moon itself doesn't rotate as it's rotating. The moon spins on its own axis. Every 27.3 days, the moon has done its own complete spin. The myth is due to the moon taking the same period to orbit the Earth. The same amount of time it's taking to orbit the Earth, it itself is orbiting. And so we think we're only seeing one side of it the whole time. Kimberly says it's a 1-to-1 rotation compared to the revolution. Whoa. Kim, that's correct. That's interesting, though. We're learning about the moon. Does the moon have gravity? Does the moon have gravity? Well, yeah. Just a little bit, though. It has a sixth of what the Earth has. It has a sixth. Approximately 1/6 of the Earth's gravity on the moon's surface. Buddy, if it's made of cheese, give me a bite. How about this? We all know this is true, that the moon is only visible at night. It's only visible, pop outside at night. Not true. We can also see the moon during the day. However, when the moon is full, we won't be able to see it during the day. This moon is freaking me out. How about the moon creates werewolves? The moon is a vampire. Excuse me. I don't even want to know more. I can't. Astronomy is the one class in college I got to be in. I can't figure it out. Astronomy is not an easy subject. That's why you get your astrophysicist people. Brilliant. Not Pops. Pops just memorizes historical dates and I'm good. 1812, the war of 1812. It's easy. I can't do astronomy. Mike, a B was pretty bad for me. Like that, it blew my whole grade point average. Astronomy. And that was me trying. How about, let's just do a couple more things. Excuse me. I apologize for my coughing at you guys here. I apologize. The moon, space, astronomy, all of that just freaks me out. I don't really understand it. I think there's enough right here in nature for me to worry about whether or not a marigold's going to give me a good gold color. Marijuana prohibition protects kids. You know that. All the prohibitions on marijuana protects kids. In 2011, 1 in every 15 high school students in the United States reported that they smoke almost every day. This is the first time in the United States, 2011, that more teenagers were smoking marijuana than cigarettes. That's interesting. Prisons are filled with people who have been charged with marijuana possession. They're pouring out the windows. People charged with marijuana possession. Boop, you're going to prison, bro. It's not true, really. It's not. Actually, 99% of prisoners in the United States who were sent to prison with marijuana-related charges were sent because of distribution, not possession. Only 1% of the people in jail for marijuana is because of possession. That's interesting. I mean, I'm not going to argue with it, but I guess if you just possess it, you get a little ticket and they send you home. I don't know. Smoking marijuana is completely harmless. Completely harmless. I wish we could say that's true, but it's not. Marijuana can cause problems. Let's just be honest with each other. We have to be honest about our shrooms, right? We want to be honest about our other stuff. Heavy marijuana use can be harmful. Marijuana smoke chemically is very similar to tobacco smoke, and heavy smokers are still at risk for some of the same type of negative health effects as cigarette smokers. So let's be honest with each other. Marijuana is dangerous. Are we going to be honest with each other? I'm looking at a squirrel. I fed the squirrels some of my older bread this morning. It was so cute to watch them. I had squirrel morning. Marijuana is dangerous. Actually, quite a few studies have found that marijuana is far less harmful than alcohol or tobacco. Drinking alcohol makes you fat. Drinking alcohol, there you go, beer belly. Drinking alcohol makes you fat. While alcohol does have calories, studies done on their effects show that there isn't a significant weight gain attributed to it. The main cause of weight gain happens to fall on the lifestyle of the alcohol drinker and the genetics of the person. So if you drink a beer and you run a marathon, or you drink a beer and you sit on your couch for the rest of the day, it's a lifestyle situation there, right? The United States has the heaviest drinkers in the world. We consume more alcohol than any other country in the world. Did you know that? Not true. I'm going to bust another myth right here. The World Health Organization reported that the top 10 alcohol-consuming countries in the world, not all of them were in Europe, and 9 of the top 10 were located in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe, what are they doing? I always picture Eastern Europe as gray and sort of concrete-y. I mean, it's not fair, trust me, because I've never been there. But I always think of it as sort of foggy, gray, and concrete-y. So there they are, drinking potatoes. It's crazy. A large meal before drinking will help keep you sober. A full stomach doesn't prevent the absorption of alcohol into your bloodstream. It just slows the process down. Okay, I'm with you. Alcohol kills brain cells. Alcohol kills brain cells. I love this. I love my little sound machine. No. Alcohol has no effect on your brain cells. And recent research has found that red wine helps the brain. And it can actually prevent dementia in old age. Okay? That's new to me. I always thought I was frying a brain cell. How many times in our life are we told you're killing your brain cells, you know? We don't really kill our brain cells the way we were taught. No. And then now we found these natural ways to re-increase and reconnect and make new connections. Dark beer has higher alcohol content than light beer. Is that true? Herbie, so many lies of our youth, Niffy. Dark beer has higher alcohol content than light beer. I do not like dark beer. Penny says it's false. The color of the beer has no indication on how much alcohol is in the beer. That's up to the brewing process. Okay? So we covered our alcohol bases this morning. Interesting stuff. Depends on the beer, Herb. You're absolutely right, my good friend. Excuse me. Well, that's it for Mythobustos today. Okay, Matthew, did you just learn how to get drunk faster? That's a wonderful thing to take away from the class. Nice. Did you hear Matthew's takeaway? Matthew, one of these days, I think you're going to be moving to Australia. It's just a feeling I have. Okay? Because you look at things, you know, sort of from an Australian perspective. Let's talk about veterans for just a minute. I know it was Veterans Day the other day. And it's been about a year now, I've been involved with the veterans group, a small group of men. There's no girls in our group yet, but we're waiting to get one. And they're veterans, and we're looking for what can we do here in Michigan, especially working with the VA and other veteran outfits to promote psilocybin usage, mostly for PTSD, mostly. And so when I run across, Matthew, we stay busy. So when I run across any kind of new information about that, it's something that I hold on to dearly, and I try to share it. This week's Tricycle Day Today newsletter has some really neat information in it. I'm going to share this part. Our veterans deserve better mental health care. That's not controversial, and that's not a mytho. Give me 5 people that agree that our veterans deserve better mental health care. They should have a focused mental health care. And there's a reason, because a veteran is going to experience things that you and I at home, in our gardens and on our couches and in our TV lives, we don't experience. We don't see, we don't have the stress. We don't have the concerns. You know, when you're a veteran or you join any of the services, you literally are, I'm willing to die. I'm taking the oath and I will bleed and die. Now, it doesn't happen to many of us, but just being in that place, and then the training that goes on, and then the some that do go over and do serve in wartime situations. I've never had to do that. I can't imagine what it would like to see. I know what it was like to get shot. I can't imagine what it would be like to shoot somebody. Have to. I mean, it boggles my mind. And then if you can't take that person, and 6% of Americans are veterans. 6%. That's not a huge amount of people that volunteered to be there, standing on the front line to make sure that we're going to be safe if it ever came to that. Less than 1% were Marines. The few, the proud. Our veterans deserve better mental health care. That's not controversial. But for some reason, the minute you mention psychedelics, people start gasping harder. Oh, psychedelics. Psychedelics are nothing compared to some of the stuff that you've experienced. Here's what researchers found after giving a limited group of veterans a treatment-resistant depression, a single 25 milligram dose, microdose. We're not even tripping them out. We're just, boop, microdose. 60% saw fast relief, saw their depression cut in half within 3 weeks. 60%. Full remission. 53% kicked their depression entirely in that same amount of time. You know, I'm just not depressed anymore. Lasting effects. By week 12, 47% were saying they're still in the same good headspace, and 40% remained in remission from their depression symptoms. Safety. No one had serious side effects or increased suicidal thoughts. Having done the microdose didn't cause them to have a side effect or increase what they were taking it for. Only 4 participants went back to their antidepressant SSRI medicines in follow-up. There's a reason why veterans are centered in the psychedelic conversation, and it's not just political. Vets face way higher depression rates than civilians. Vets' suicide rates are 13.5% versus regular civilians, 9.2%. That's huge. I'm glad you admitted, Badgie, because me too. Me too. I do better when I'm on a regimen. And I've just been very spotty lately. I've been sick, and that might be one of the reasons why. Their cases are often more complex, the veterans. They're tangled up with PTSD, chronic pain, and substance abuse. When standard treatments fail, which happen a lot, their health care skyrockets to nearly 4 times that of vets that don't have depression. It's costing them 4 times as much to take care of themselves. Keep in mind that this was a small open-label pilot study. The researchers actually warn against treating psilocybin like some kind of miracle cure, since disappointment could be dangerous, especially for folks who've tried everything else. Still, for a population that's suffered enough, any new hope is good hope. Maybe next Veterans Day we'll have more than just promises to offer. Maybe. Especially if we keep working at it. But Badgie, thanks for saying that, because I have to do the same. Just like I had to get back into taking care of my body a little bit more. I did last week. This week I've been not feeling 100%, but I'm still doing my best. Look at me today. Look at me today. I could have called in sick. I'm not calling in sick. I'm not. Last time we were talking about the 4 or 5 different things that are components involved in changing our mushroom grow from a colonization state to a fruiting state. Boy, we want those fruits, don't we? We want them to look like this. We'll give this away later today. We want them to look like that and other things. We could have them look like this. They could look like that. Beautiful, dense, little, non-wispy, beautiful genetic, yes, okay? Temperature is one of the biggest keys to that. We already talked about FAE. We talked about temperature. We talked about FAE. We talked about humidity. We talked about lighting. And then the final ingredient is temperature. This is the easiest one. I'm going to just throw it out there because there's got a bunch of mushroom farmers here. What temperature do we want a fruit our mushrooms at? We've got a cake. It's starting, it's gonna pin. What temperature do we want it set at? Catzilla, midlife. Those are great answers. Pacers, good answer. Derek Anderson, I'm gonna go with it, but you're scaring me. Don't go too hot. Vegas is nailing it. Penny, you're getting a little hot there. We like 74 on the button. We like 74 on the button, and we'll sneak it up to 75. Okay? That's it. Now we're done with the temperature part. That's it. I told you this stuff is simple. Many species will grow and fruit at the same temperature, but some mushroom species strains require a drop in temperature. Shiitake, for example. There's a process when we're growing shiitake, which I'm not an expert at. They actually put them in the refrigerator and cold shock it. Just like we mentioned you can do with the cake that's running hot or super thick and it's not starting to pin. Give it a cold shock, okay? Most mushrooms growing need to be placed within a specific temperature range to initiate fruiting. We like 74. A specific range, anywhere between 70 and 80. Anything higher than 77, 76, 77, contamination is getting ready to happen because the air is hotter and microbes are going to grow in that versus a colder environment. Anything below 74, 73, you're going to still get fruiting. That's not going to be healthy fruit, and it's going to go a lot slower. So there's this zone, which kind of freaks you out if you think about it, because out in nature, how often does this zone, this golden halo, this perfect environment, it has to happen out there without all of our tricks and stuff in order for the psilocybin to flourish. And it does often. I mean, we can go out there and forage this stuff up. And so it's pretty crazy how this kind of environment actually is happening out there. Temperature. Many species develop a dark color. And when grown in colder temperatures, this is true. This is true. I've experienced it myself, same strain. And this was 2 or 3 years ago, I did an experiment where I was growing cold cakes. And the cold cakes would have darker, browner fruit, and the hotter cakes would have a blonder fruit. Same genetic, same LC, same grain spawn, everything's the same, except that when I went to fruiting, one of them I kept at a lower temperature to fruit, and one I pushed to the max temperature. And you'll end up with, for natural reasons, the hotter, the colder were browner fruit, and the hotter were blonder or whiter fruit. And I'm not talking about albino strain right now. You could do that with a golden teacher. Your golden teacher's gonna have like a nice little brown cap at a colder temperature, and a golden teacher's gonna have like kind of a caramel colored tat, or a lot more like brown sugar, just lighter at a higher temperature fruiting. For the small scale grower, that's us, controlling the temperature of an incubation or fruiting space can incur undesirable costs. That's especially if you're going to try to heat up the whole room because you're trying to keep one tub warm. Okay? There's all kinds of tricks. This is one trick you got to be very, very, very careful of. I remember when I was first growing, people were doing this. They were taking heating mats, okay, a heater mat, and they put a heater mat down, and then they would take their tub and sit it on top of the heater mat, and then control the heater mat's temperature. They thought that was going to control the cake temperature. Heater mats, it's not the smartest way to do things, and I'll tell you one reason why. Because you're heating up the bottom of the cake. That's what's really getting heated. And the heat at the bottom of the cake when you're doing the heating by mat is much, much higher than it is at the top of the cake, let alone the air supply. So you're really creating kind of this false environment that is not happening out in nature, where the earth underneath is way hotter than what's happening up here. So if heating mat is your heat supply, that's okay. Here's what you'll want to do with the heating mat. Tape it to the side wall inside your grow chamber. Tape it to the side walls, the back and the side walls, so it's still heating radiantly, but it's not underneath creating only heat at the bottom, sort of a whatchamacallit, a captured temperature base. So I learned that from experience. I avoid heating mats underneath, but I have absolutely no problem. There you go, midlife. Okay, I have absolutely no problem with heating mats creating the ambient heat that you want. Okay? Simple strategies for helping drop the temperature at fruiting include incubating the spawn above a refrigerator or on top shelves of a closet where the air is warm. At fruiting, move that, because you've had it at this hotter area, you move it to another area. Those are dumb, though. I would never put my tub on top of my refrigerator. If anything, I'm putting it in a closet. The best part about the mono tub is that's just your first line of defense. The tub itself's your first line of defense. That's your micro chamber, micro environment. Then we put it inside another tent or inside another closet. That's its macro environment. And then you still have the house that it's in. Now you're starting to see you can start protecting that little tub a lot better than if I take the tub and I go stick it in the window or on top of my refrigerator. Okay? Fruiting environments. All fruiting spaces must accommodate those above requirements. Basic, simple. So we've covered the 4 things. Next week, we're going to talk about some of the common things that you're going to experience during the fruiting phase. And then we're going to talk about harvesting and drying. Okay? We're going to talk about harvesting and drying, curing our mushrooms. I'm on a little bit of a fast forward here this morning, but I need to be because I have a couple of things to do this morning, as soon as we're done here. Good morning, everybody. So we've covered all 4 of things that you need to do when you're moving into fruiting. You're going to get the temperatures at 74. You're going to get a light cycle of 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You're going to have your humidity be above 90% relative humidity, and you're going to have fresh air exchange through that tub every 4 to 6 hours. And all you have to do is worry about that for about 14 days. There isn't very many species that I've worked with that weren't fully fruited and being harvested in about 14 days from the time I started fruiting. That's my average time. So that's not bad. 14 days from the time you start really paying attention to your tubs. And then you're going to have, as much fruit as you've earned. We were imagining things yesterday. Do you guys remember that? Not yesterday, the day before. We were imagining things. I had my imagination hat on. I'm going to do it again today. We're going to imagine a few more things. We're imagining a victory life. And I'm not trying to be like a cult talker guy right now. I was watching this thing on TV. I watched the whole thing because the whole idea of culting things kind of, I am so sensitive to it. I don't want to be anywhere close to the idea of cultish. So I look around and what's a cult look like? Let's not look like that. And the recent one that I've been seeing on, is it Netflix? The Breath of Fire. It's called The Breath of Fire. Something like that. and it's about Katie Griggs, I think her name was, Guru Jagat, and she got involved in this whole Kundalini thing. I'm not going to be speaking about people that I don't know, just based off of a program that I've seen. But we're so prone to bullshit one another. And really the bullshitter is the guy doing the bullshit. And then there's so many unfortunate people that are searching, seeking. And then when they find these people and they turn them into their, I mean, these people were working 80-hour weeks for nothing. Checks bouncing if you actually were on a salary with them. I mean, they just, and if you didn't do the pressure, the peer pressure of a group to the, man, we don't want any of that crap. We don't want any of that. And when I say certain terms, I get worried that they're going to sound cultish. Yeah, look at it. Look, check out the program. It's brand. I mean, this was happening in 2010 through 2020. Cults aren't an old thing. They're around us everywhere. I found myself saying a term there, victory lifestyle, that sounds so cultish. And I don't want anything to come out across as that. I truly don't. The biggest difference with the cult leaders, cults, is there's some guy that says he knows all the answers and it's an unquestioned authority. I want to be the exact opposite and tell you, I really don't know very much. I really don't. I'm just expressing to you my empirical experiences, the things that I have experienced. And if you'll come along, we'll see if they're real for you too. And we keep getting feedback that it is for so many other people, that I'm not alone. We're not alone. And we weren't meant to walk alone either. We weren't. We're the type of creatures that have isolated because we didn't feel like we were a part of something. We spent a lot of our lives isolated. And we were not meant to be there, and it continues our mental health struggles. Loneliness, alone. Most of the time because we're not telling the truth about ourselves. I don't want to have somebody that I need to be in a group. I do, though. I really do. If I didn't have a group, I'd be a procrastinating, lazy son of a sieve. If I didn't have a group, I wouldn't have heard from Badgie this morning that says, I really got to get back on my deal. And I'm like, hey, me too. And then RX, me too. And then Nerdy, yeah, me. I don't want to be that. I want to be Mr. Independent. I really don't, though. I get so lonely. You ever seen that TV show Alone? Those people quit. They could win $1 million. They're not starving yet. They haven't broken a leg, but they quit. They want to go back to the family. I've been out here 8 days. I can't take another day of it. All I have is a chipmunk to talk to for the last 8 days. I can't take it another minute. And they call in. And I think to myself, I wouldn't do that. I could last 72 days out there without another human. Could I? Could I? And then the best part of it is you get to choose which humans you're going to hang around with. Oh gosh, me too, Badgie. If I couldn't take rough, I'm not going. Okay? Ghastly's like, Bob, 78 days ain't nothing. I guess. Let's imagine. I'm going to close my eyes for about 10 seconds because I'm going to try to get into an imagination. But I can't imagine anything without you guys. And I don't mean that like weird. I mean, I wouldn't be this far along in my spiritual growth if I didn't have a group to grow with. If I didn't have a group to grow with. So we're going to imagine. When I pop my eyes open, pop, I'm going to be imagining stuff. Maybe you want to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. Unhook from your brain for just a second, and then we're going to imagine stuff. Imagine you love yourself just the way you are. Imagine that. Take a second. Seriously, take a minute. We don't do this. We don't slow down in our lives. We'll slow down this morning. Imagine just being in love with yourself. Imagine you love your body just the way it is. Imagine. Imagine you don't judge your emotions. Just go through them. The negative ones faster. Imagine you don't judge yourself for having them. Imagine being zany for the sake of it. Just for the pure sake of forgetting everything else, but just a zane, just be zany. Goofy. Just be goofy for the sake of goofy. That's childish. That's childish. The children are so much more innocent than us. They're still getting programmed. Imagine that you're perfect just the way you are. And you know, sometimes it takes imagination for us to get there because we're not. I have to imagine myself to that place. Children smile a lot, don't they? And as we age, our smiles fall away. That's a choice. I ask you to imagine things, only things that are possible. Everything that we've talked about imagining are things that are possible. I did not say imagine yourself on the moon. You'll never be there. I didn't say, for my sake, imagine yourself a middle linebacker of the Los Angeles Rams. It's out of the realm of possibility. I'm not going to imagine that. But I can imagine myself being just extremely happy with where I'm at. You can live in a life, a state of grace, a state of bliss. But in order to experience this, you have to understand what it is. Only love has the ability to put you in the state of bliss. Being in bliss is like being in love. Bliss is such a neat word. We don't use it enough. Bliss. Being in love is like being in bliss. You're floating in the clouds. You're perceiving love wherever you go. And it's entirely possible to live a life this way all the time. It's possible because others have done it, and they're no different than me or you. They live in bliss because they've changed their agreements, and they've agreed to live a different dream. Once you feel what it means to live in a state of bliss, You will love it. Once you taste it, you're gonna want more. You'll know heaven on earth is true. Heaven truly exists. This is not self-help quackery. It is not. Our lives can be so much more heavenly and so much more filled with goodness because we're practicing it. And if I'm at level 7 right now, I still have level 8, 9, and 10 to go. How exciting is that? I mean it. 7 feels awfully good. 3 felt so much better than 2. Do you know what I mean? And that's us measuring stuff linearly like humans. People live in a state of bliss because they've changed, because they made different healthy choices. Once you feel what it looks like, what it feels like, you're gonna want more. It's kind of like a potato chip. Once you know that heaven exists. See, that's part of the problem. Most of us are living the life that we think heaven's somewhere else. It's something that's promised to us with, you be good, when you die, you'll get it. Screw you. I don't want it later. I want mine's nows. And I can have it. But I don't go take it. Here's the best part about it. I don't go take it. You know how do I get it? By giving heaven. By giving it. If I can give heaven, am I not in it? Answer me that. If I can give heaven, am I not in it? If I can give, do I not have it? That's the neatest thing I could ever say. I can also give hell. You think Pops has ever given anybody any hell? What a shame. I gave way too much of it. I really, really did. But I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm not going to drink or drug over it. I'm just going to say I did it, and I'm going to do better in the future, doing my best today. That judge will send me back to prison, and I'll go back and I'll do the same sentence again. Oh, remember that justice is only paying once. Justice is only paying for your crime once. I paid. I paid because I had to live in the hell. And boy, I lived in hell. Once you know heaven exists and it's possible, you'd like to stay there. Who doesn't want to just stay there? Do you think you can? Or do you have to go back and visit hell every once in a while? I don't think you have to. "2,000 years ago, there was this spiritual teacher guy. 2,000 years ago, we'll leave it at that, without being religious, but we know there was a spiritual teacher guy 2,000 years ago. He told us about a kingdom. He told us about a kingdom of love right here on earth. This same spiritual teacher guy, I'm not talking about his whole purpose, everything that man did was serve. He was serving. He was giving away what he had. Knowledge from his empirical experience. He told us about this kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of love. But hardly anyone back then was ready to hear it. So we know what we did. Hardly anyone today is ready to hear it. So you see what we're doing to each other. Look around the world. Because the world doesn't believe that the kingdom of heaven is here now. We believe it's something that we'll get if we bomb each other and blow each other up and I kill you. Really? They said, what are you talking about? My heart's empty. I don't feel the love that you're talking about. I don't have the peace that you have. You just have to believe it. You have to imagine it. You have to work with it. This message of love is possible when you find yours. The world's a beautiful and a wonderful place. Life can be very, very easy if you love your way through it. You can be loving all the time. This is your chance. You don't even have to have a reason to love. You just love because you're in heaven. Everything starts to look lovely because you're in heaven. You can look at it this way, heavenly, or you can look at it this way. Man, that's the way I used to look at it. I don't like looking at it that old way. Love in action only produces happiness. Let me say that again out loud. Love in action only produces happiness. Anybody want to argue with that one? That's a pretty good one. It only produces happiness. Love will give you inner peace, especially when you're in love with yourself. Love will change your perception of everything. That's true. There's people I used to just, ugh. And now I look at them and go, you know what, I understand. Is there anything I can do to help you today? There, but for the grace of the world go I. You don't bug me anymore. The reason you bugged me before is because I saw something about me in you that I didn't like. Right now I'm okay. So you're okay. You can see everything with the eyes of love. You start being aware of all of the love that's around you. You become more aware. We've been bombarded with love in different places and different times, and we're not even aware because we're so self-absorbed. When you're starting to work and live in a life of love, you start seeing it in other places you didn't notice it before. You start saying, I guess I'm not the only one. When you live this way, the fog on your mind lifts. That matote that we talk about. Anybody ever want to send their matote on a permanent vacation? Mine's pretty well gone. I'm not even joking. The fog has lifted. Once in a while, I see a wispy cloud come by and I go, oh boy, here it comes. I don't let it back. No fog. Let's keep this thing clear. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying I see a wisp once in a while. It's a lot easier to see wispy when there's no fog. Oh boy, here comes a wisp. You feel it coming, guys. You feel it, you know it. You become more aware. And you already know I don't want to go to hell. If I follow that wisp, I'm on my way to a little hell for now. I'm going to go get involved in envy and strife and gossip, and I'm going to create pain for someone. It's because I followed a wisp. For thousands of years, humans have been searching for happiness as if it's some kind of a lost paradise. Shangri-La. We're going to find it, and we're going to be perfect there someday. You've already found it. You've already found it. You've experienced bliss. At certain points in your life, you've already experienced it. You know what it felt like. Just choose to keep feeling it. And the way you keep feeling it is by practicing. This way of life is possible. It's in your hands. I like this. Moses called it the promised land. Buddha called it nirvana. Jesus called it heaven. And us, well, we call it the new dream. That's dream new. And this isn't a dream that's a cloud dream. This is a dream of that we live. Herbie calls it a mush fest. So let's do this. Let's do this scale grade game, okay? And then we'll get you guys out of here. We have this whole package. Take a look at that. All right. Don't give me any numbers yet. We call it 8. You're out of line, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Corey. Listen, get your eye scales ready, but don't give me a number right now because it won't matter. So whatever this total is, we're going to get the 2 people. I'm going to get 2 people. I don't even know what it is yet, so don't say a number. And when you do go to say a number, do me a big favor. Only say it one time. Give everybody a chance to get a number in, okay? The closest to going to the total number without going over, the 2 closest are going to split the prize. Go. Have a great day, Red Boy. Red Boy, you're growing some good weed there. I've seen on your IG. Good job. Give me a number between, give me a scale number. Okay, you're going to split it. The first 2 closest. Give me some numbers. You guys have got some great numbers here. You guys are really close. Give me some numbers. The first 2 closest without going over. Give me it one time. Whoa, boy, there it is. Okay, I have 2 people, and you can't get a lot closer than these 2 people. Dando, you were awfully close. You were right there, my friend. Let's go ahead. We're going to kill it because we already have 2 people that got the numbers. Okay? Here we go. 10.53 grams. 10.53. Kim said 10.5. And Pacers, wait a minute. Oops. What did I just do? Okay. Sorry about this. Okay. And Pacers. So, Kim and Pacers are the 2 people that I saw that got that correct or close enough. Oops. Kim and Pacer. So if you 2 would get me your address, we're going to split that in half where you each get about 5-something grams of it. Okay? So, boop, boop, boop. We'll get those sent out to you guys as soon as I can get your addresses. All right? And then we have one more to give away. You guys ready? I'm only going to take 1 person on this one. Closest without going over. What do you think this guy weighs? Huh? Go. Closest without going over. Closest without going over. We have one there that is awfully close. And then we have another one that's super close, but it's over. Okay. I have one that I don't know if we're going to beat it. I'll give it another couple. See if somebody can beat this one. How are we doing out there? Give me one. Give me a number on. Okay. Well, you guys are really good at this, by the way. You have a lot of numbers that are super close. What do you think that big beefy fellow weighed? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to call it. I think Penny Pack. Penny got the closest. I think Penny said. What was Penny's? A 5.3, right? And then Mushmouth was 5.4. Penny said 5.2. 5.2. Mushy, you're this close. Mushy, you were this close. Penny Pack was the closest one. Dang! 5.35. So Penny, thank goodness I haven't sent your give it to Mushmouth Pops. Penny, that's sweet of you because I got a package already going in the mail to you. Mushy, you got it coming to you. Mushy, you can thank Penny, okay? You can thank Penny. Mushy, I need an address, okay? Send me your address and we'll send you that from me and Penny. See you guys on that scene. We'll do some more of this stuff next week, okay? That was kind of you, Penny. Penny, she has a little package coming from us, so we're good. I was going to put it in your other package because I haven't mailed it yet. Okay. Have a great day, you guys. Have a great weekend. Fridays are hard for me because it means I don't get to see you for 2 to 3 days. And send me some healing vibes. I gotta beat this cold. It's not. I'm not doing as good as I should, and I gotta spend more time over at the grow house. And I'm like, oh, but I got a cold. So, help me out with that. Anyways, would you guys do 4 things? Make sure that you remember how powerful your words are. Just remember the power of your word, and that if you use it impeccably, you're going to grow kinder. You're going to start giving away love that you have that's growing inside you. You'll be planting seeds of love through the process of good words. That's the best way to plant our seeds. And then we plant seeds in other people by being good and kind to them. Okay? So we want to be impeccable with our word. Let's not take things personal. It's never really about us. If someone's saying something, it's coming from inside them. How you receive it is up to you, and the holier you get and the more filled with love you get, the more you understand that there's a reason that they said things the way they did. And it is not about us. Third, please communicate as kindly and with as much clarity and goodness as you can, with less expectations and less assumptions. And then finally, do what we're doing right now. I don't feel great, but I'm doing my best. You'll not always feel great, but you'll always want to do your best. And just keep giving. As you give, I gotta promise you from the bottom of my heart, I promise you, and I only promise you because I've experienced it, if you give, you will grow. Okay? So let's go do that. Givers and growers. Nerdy and Kimberly and Corey D and Peter. Peter, thank you. Vegas, happy birthday, Vaggie, send me your address. Vaggie, I need your address. Send that to me. I got to send you a birthday present. Mike Baraball, Matthew Seliger, hi, Math. Sam, thank you. Marcus Aurelius Marley, hello, Doc. Peter Lowe, and Mike Mika, and Jesus Christ in Australia. Jesus, who's going to win? Mike Tyson or Jake Paul? Jesus Christ, I'm asking you. Exception. There you go. Sharon M., Matthew Seliger, Penny Pack. B. Hendricks, communicate with pure clarity and kindness as we. You can be clear and just screaming, or you can be clear and talking kindly and peacefully. Vegas, Peter, Nerdy, New England Visuals. There you are. I haven't seen my friend New England in a minute. Rodman, until next time, growing one day at a time, just like mushrooms do. Saskamoto, Nerdy, and Anthony T. There you go. Danny Singleton, do you think that sweating's going to help? I don't know. Jolie, hello this morning. Clean Growing, Sharon M. There you go. Exception, happy birthday to Vegas. Herbie, speak with your doctor before doing it. There you go. That's a good example, too. Badgie, have a great weekend, my good friend. Arthur and D. Anderson and Laura, have a divine weekend. Cat, meow. Zilla, Nippy, I hope you hang in there, sweetheart. Big hugs. Kimberly, and Jeroro, and Married Michael, and Joe Dees, and Anthony Tatum, and Corey D. double tapping, and Married Michael, and Billy D. an exception, and Carolo Carunan, Jake Paul, is that what you think? Derek's going Tyson. I honestly think it's going to be Tyson. I think Tyson's going to land one on him. Sue Littlemeyer. Good job, Sue. I know this is our Ramper Room time right here. Badgie, the promoter's the winner. Badgie, why are you always so perfectly cynical? I mean, not that you're wrong, but you're right. Mike Barabal. Trenty, have a great weekend. Anthony, Vegas, Jesus Christ, Mike Tyson. That's what I thought. Pow! He's going to give him a good one. Michael Patterson, Sean T, Jonathan K, all day until next week. Peter Lowe and Jonathan K and Kimberly and Green Killer and Green Table. And we got greens everywhere. Mark Zamaron and Kimberly and Green Killer and Peter and Summer. Good morning, Psalms. Nobi, Yeppa, Nipfer, and Herbs, and Mike Barabal, and Nippy, and Zilix, a couple of times. Jesus Christ, and Nipper, and Rodman. Jake Paul will have no ears. Chewing them off. Married in Vegas, and Verns, and Sarah Bear, and Justin, and Pacers. And I got some mic bites. Get out of here. Go watch the fight. And don't fight with anyone else while you're doing it. That's entertainment. That's entertainment. Get out of here. 4 things. Have a great weekend.